So here let's just analyze the body fluid compartment shifts, and here essentially this is what's happening within diarrhea. So here you can see it's a isotonic or isoosmotic expansion. So isoosmotic volume expansion. And this isoosmotic volume expansion, oh sorry. Okay, my problem is that I keep thinking that the black line is the expansion. It is not. So let's just be really clear. The green line is the expansion or contraction. So this is actually isotonic or isoosmotic volume contraction. As you can see, it's moved backwards from the basal line, okay? Why is this? Because there's a difference between diarrhea and sweating or being lost in the desert, okay? There's differences between all of these. And within diarrhea, so in terms of isoosmotic, you know it's isosmotic because it's along the line. There's no change in pitch, there's no change in osmolarity here. Why is it isosmotic? Because in diarrhea, or anything, if you look at this, for example, image, in diarrhea, you are losing your fluids, you're losing your water, as well as your ions and your solutes. You're losing everything, because not only are you like sort of excreting, you're kind of excreting the stuff out. This is your GI tract, let's say, and here's your excretory system. And not diarrhea is sort of this way, and vomiting is this way. And both ways, in vomiting and diarrhea, you are losing your isotonic, so isoosmotic fluids, okay? Because there is no, you kind of just lose whatever you have. And this is because the extracellular fluid osmolarity is the same as the osmolarity of the GIT, okay? And that's why. And why is it contraction? Because obviously you're losing fluids, okay? Now let's talk about being lost in the desert. This is, now look at the green lines, this is some sort of hyperosmotic contraction. Okay, this is hyperosmotic contraction. Hyperosmotic contraction, you're definitely losing water. I'm assuming this is losing water through sweat. Now, why is it losing water through sweat? Losing water through sweat, you only lose water. Now, you do not lose your solutes, okay? And the fact that you don't lose your solutes means that the solute concentration initially within the extracellular fluid then increases as compared to the water, because you've lost the water. Loss of water through sweating in the desert will mean that you have higher solutes, which means that there's a higher osmolarity, and then the water will move from here to here, so there is a shift. Perfect. Now, adrenal insufficiency. Okay, I want to make a memory cue for this, a memory cue sort of little cartoon for this, so I will make that tomorrow. For now, let's talk about adrenal insufficiency. Adrenal insufficiency is basically you have your friend, your nephron, right? And your nephron looks something like this. You have your proximal convoluted tubule, you have your distal convoluted tubule, and then you have urine. And in adrenal insufficiency, aldosterone is what causes the pistil cells to reuptake sodium chloride. Okay? To reuptake your osmotically active solutes. Now, and this aldosterone is produced by the sort of zona pellucida or something like that of your adrenal gland. If there's an insufficiency or there's a problem with it, and this I think is known as Addison's disease, this will mean that you have less aldosterone to reuptake those solutes and ions from this part of your nephron, meaning that you will have less reuptake, meaning you will have lower osmolarity, and because you are still taking away the fluids, because you don't have as much reuptake, you're losing these fluids as well as the solutes, you're going to have contraction. So this is going to be hypoosmotic contraction. Done. Okay, infusion of isotonic NaCl. Isotonic NaCl, same osmolarity, just simply expansion. Excessive NaCl intake. Okay, of course this is going to cause expansion, and of course this is going to cause hyperosmotic expansion. This is a tricky one. So SIADH, it stands for Syndrome of Inappropriate Antidiuretic Hormone Secretion. Antidiuretic hormone secretion. Well, firstly, what's happening here? This is hypoosmotic and it's expansion. Okay, now antidiuretic hormone is what is responsible for, I think, reuptake of water. Okay, and essentially you're losing water. So basically you are losing water, right? No, this is expansion. No, is it expansion? Yeah, it's expansion. So because the antidiuretic hormone is not being produced as much, right? Well, it's being syndrome of... I'm not exactly sure in this. Oh, sorry. Okay. In the... This is about the disease, that's what's a bit confusing. The syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone produces excessive antidiuretic hormone when you're not expecting it. This excessive antidiuretic hormone causes increased reuptake of water from the latter part of the final part, kind of latter part of the nephron, and this increased reuptake of water causes you to have expansion, more water inside your extracellular fluid, and more water means a lower osmolarity because the water dilutes the solute.